great loss that we've had, the tremendous loss with respect to the fire at the Brickdam police station. We have been making efforts to restore operations as quickly as possible to facilitate and to support the Ghana Police Force to get its operations at the 4A Central Police Station building back into action as quickly as possible. I have to thank, of course, ministers who were here. Minister Tashir was just here. Minister Ejil was on the street. Minister Kwame Koi, Minister Anand Prasad, Minister Manik Chan, Minister Soni Prasad, Minister Vindhya Prasad, all who arrived at the scene like many other ordinary citizens, policemen and women who were on duty and off duty too, and some firefighters too, who all arrived to provide help, support, succor in respect of the big issue. As far as we are aware, to look at our Google Earth pictures, we think that it is about 80 or more percent destroyed in terms of the buildings. Assessments have to be made in respect to the losses of equipment. There's loss of vehicles, some equipment, uh, some exhibits, both motorcycles and cars, and some other items which are exhibits. Work will have to be done to reconstruct some files which are lost, but the police persons who related to the officers there and others made, I'd say, valiant efforts to retrieve much of the files. In the first instance, of course, to take the prisoners or the inmates who were held in lockups to safety. I think there were some 16 of those there, and to prevent any loss of life and injury, and also to secure the firearms which are part of the operation equipment of the Guyana Police Force at the station. Uh, I could hand over to the Commissioner of Police for some quick statements, and then we could take a few questions. We have, of course, the Army Commander, Brigadier Bess. We have Commissioner of Police. We have Deputy Commissioner Hicken. We have Mr. James Singh and others here. Um, in respect of RS, we have Mr. Howell, Lieutenant Colonel Howell from the Army too. So there are a lot of people here who have rushed to us here to provide support. And of course, I want to thank those who are on the internet, social media, wishing us well, wishing the Guyana Police Force well, and we want to get them back in action to do the job they have to do to maintain safety and security in the Georgetown, in central Georgetown. I might have missed out Commander McBean, the commander for 4A Division, Deputy Commissioner Brutus, and the Permanent Secretary, Ms. May Toussaint Jr. Thomas, who's here. So that's what I wanted to say quickly. Commissioner?
Thank you very much, Minister, all other ministers of government, senior members of the joint services, other representatives here, members of the media, good afternoon. The fire started just around about 11:06 on today's date, and my information is that it started on the eastern building, the upper part of the eastern building. The fire service was summoned, and according to the commander, they arrived within a 5 to 6 minutes period and started their work. According as the minister did indicate that the wind was heavy and the place was dry, so it spread quickly, and the loss, to say the least, is very severe. However, that would not deter us. We've already started immediately to put systems in place to ensure that we are in keeping with our mandate of service and protection to the citizenry. The loss, we lost several buildings, as the minister would indicated. We lost also vehicles, some that matters on the investigation, while others were vehicles that were destroyed, some in a significant way belonging to the Guyana Police Force. We were able to first and foremost save lives, which is one of our procedures to ensure first we save lives. So all of the 16 prisoners were accounted for and relocated to another location. And then the next step we did was to ensure that the arms and ammunition were secured. We were successful in also doing that. And then the next thing we did is to ensure that records were saved. We weren't able to save all of the records, but our efforts were, we put stringent efforts in place to ensure that a lot of records were saved. A lot of the ranks were committed to the task. And then other assets were saved. We were able to take out motorcycles and so on, including a generator. The buildings that are standing right now is the one to the west, which is the police barracks. The impact building is made out of clay brick, and of course the lockups. Police are still on the ground along with members of the fire service working to ensure that the fire goes out. We just want to share with the citizens, those particularly in Georgetown, that there should be no fear. The police have already immediately put systems in place to ensure that we continue to patrol and ensure that peace and order prevail in Regional 4A. As the minister would have indicated, Brickdam is the headquarters for Regional 4A that houses the divisional commander. The structure or the estate is in excess of 100 years, but we're going to ensure, importantly, we maintain law and order in our society. I have with me the commander of the division, Mr. Simon McBean, and if there's any additional details you want to give, I'll ask him to so do. Thank you very much.
Can we just swap the mics or swap chairs?
Yes, sir.
Can we just swap the mics or swap chairs?
Thank you, Commissioner. Just to add or reiterate what the Commissioner would have said as it relates to our posture, we continue to provide a service to the citizens of Georgetown. All our patrols are out, and that will continue. We are working to relocate Brickdam proper, so reports can be accepted from members of the public. So by the end of our meeting, we will come to a decision as to how we're going to do that relocation.
All right, so I don't know if there's any further question that you all may have, but rest assured, the Commissioner, Deputy Commissioner Hicken and Brutus, and others along with the commanders, uh, Mr. Johnson, who is the IT specialist, will be working to make sure that all the arrangements for callings to the Guyana Police Control Center will be done. They'll be put properly in place. The issues relating to future building are already being considered by our engineers. We've already told them to think now about what we need in terms for a temporary location and in terms of a design for a new police headquarters building for 4A at Brickdam. So certainly they will be back. The ministers, my colleague ministers from cabinet are here. I'm sure we all know the necessity for having durable, sustainable new headquarters on Brickdam at that location eventually. So that will be considered properly, and we'll come with some positions with respect to designs, locations, and other issues. Mr. Hicken wanted to say something. Okay. No, but Hicken, you could speak.
Yeah. Okay. Minister, thank you to the chair. just to let you know, within the next 2 or 3 hours, via advisory,
Oh,
the general public will be advised where they can go and see the commander and where reports can be made to continue operation. Additionally, an advisory will indicate where they have diversions in terms of traffic because they cordon the perimeter of Brickdam will be cordoned for the next 48 or 72 hours for the fire service to get to do their investigation, and the police will have to do the sanitizing too. So I think the public need to understand that. Very, very importantly, though, we want to thank the general public for the assistance they would have given to us this morning. Generally, when there's a fire and buildings are vulnerable, people are vulnerable, we will normally have a different behavior. The general public were very receptive and they helped us a lot, and so I want to say thanks to them for doing so. They brave the heat and all that comes with fire, and they were very supportive to the police and the fire service. So I want to commend them for that, and we want to maintain this type of relationship. Thank you.
Minister Kurt Campbell from the newsroom. Can you say why isn't the fire chief here? I'm not really sure if a representative from the fire services is here.
no, when last the fire chief was out with his people working the fire, so we'll be able to get to him eventually.
Okay. Can either the commissioner or Mr. Matthew be more specific with the buildings that were destroyed and the divisions affected? And also, can you say how many ramps are currently displaced? And I'm not too sure what you said about relocating, your comments on relocating the divisional headquarters at this time. If there's a building in mind.
So the building where the fire started to the eastern end, that is completely destroyed. The property room is destroyed. The inquiries office has been destroyed. The traffic department has been destroyed. The mess has been destroyed. And the buildings that are remaining, it's the police barracks, the impact base, and of course the lockups.
The number of ramps displaced?
Well,
buildings
I don't want to say the ranks would have been displaced because the relocation would take place today, and so the work would be an ongoing one. They are just engaged in ensuring that they clear up all that they would be clearing up, and by the end of the day, we would put system in place of those who are on duty to remain on duty. The barracks is still standing, so the barrack houses nail ranks is still there. However, because of the work that is ongoing there, um, we will not be using it today. But of course, we will have another barracks that it would actually stay this evening going forward. The number of ranks on a daily basis that are operational would be in excess of 200. I'll ask the commander to give additional details in that regard.
The compound breakdown, compound proper. Yeah, breakdown compound proper house 398 rounds. Um, that includes traffic, impact base, CID, um, commander's office, and the mess. Yes.
Did the initial investigation point to an arson? Can you comment on that? And this is also the second police station destroyed within weeks. What are your thoughts?
Well, fire service is now conducting their investigation, and we will be advised by the fire service as it relates to the cause of the fire.
If I'm still over and seeing news, Commander Macri, what setback would the fire have caused to your operations at Brickdam?
Well, we all know
What setback would the fire have caused to your
police
operations at
operations
Brickdam?
depend on our records. As it is, we'll have to do an inventory of what records we would have lost through the fire. But operationally, um, we will be able to continue our day-to-day operations in the streets of Georgetown because most of our ranks were on the road and patrol when the incident occurred. So all our operational vehicles or safe, so we don't have an issue in providing that service for the community.
Minister Ben, you were out there along with several other ministers of the government. I wanted to ask if at this time, what is your satisfaction level as it relates to the responses you guys have had so far?
Well, I understand that in terms of the, they were there within 5 or 6 minutes of the report, and we will have to get after action report in respect of all the events which occurred from the time they learned of the fire, the assets which were deployed, the availability of water, the sources of water, and the ranks and persons who were aware. I would say a lot of the off-duty firemen arrived at the site, and including the former fire chief also, Mr. Gentle also arrived, came to help. All right. If no other question, thank you very much. And thanks again to the ministers for their support, the heads of various services who all chipped in and expressed concern, and also, of course, members of the public and of the business community too, who all called in, came, expressed concern, and offered support, which is also an ongoing issue in respect of the problem that we have, and that we will quickly overcome. We work quickly to overcome this setback and to get our operations up and going fairly quickly. Thank you very much, ladies.